Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. Today, this, I'm gonna say this today. Today is gonna be a little bit more the woodworking end of it. But don't worry, Genesis videos are coming soon. This is gonna be a simple jig. This is one of them. Very simple. Took me maybe a minute to make. And then this one is a very handy jig if you like building stairs. So, but for anyone that's routering out stair stringers, this pattern will be amazing to you. So, two things, well, there's a few things you need. You need, first, a big piece of plywood, big enough to hold the measurements that you have. Now, every measurement's gonna be different. Every stair nosing is going to be different. You might have on another stair a different nosing. So I'm going to show you a few things. But you will need either a tread or a piece of a tread. And this is what I have. I have an offcut of one of my treads. And then you're going to need your riser, whatever it may be. 3/4, 1/2 inch, 1 inch, whatever the material, you need that. And you're gonna need these guys, a bunch of wedges, if you're gonna build it this way. So that's what this video is. It's gonna have the incorporate of the wedges, and the other way, well, the other way you can just eliminate the wedges and cut it straight. But I'm gonna do the wedges. So first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna look at this guy. So as you can see, this is my wedge cutting jig. This is far by anything fancy. It's just a piece of 3/4 plywood. Maybe it's about, no, it's 3/4. And a piece of, and as you can see, it's one of my practice little bits. It's this is whiteboard, I believe. And I just practice a profile, and I'm using it to complete my jig. You can use scraps. Just make sure it's straight. That's it. So all you do is you put your piece of wood on. Oh no, first thing you do, you go on your table saw and you make sure that one end is straight. One end has to be straight because you're going to be riding the fence every time you cut. After that, you make your curve cut and then move it over a little bit and make another curve cut and move it over a little bit, make another curve cut, just in case you get a little twisting so it doesn't bind on the blade and shoot you back. So as you can see, it's pretty big cut there. I had no issues with it, none at all. So all you gotta do is just find how big of a wedge you want and cut it. These don't shoot back. If you want something to shoot to protect it from shooting back, you can always put another piece right here and it'll protect it from shooting back. But I cut 30 some odd wedges and I had no issues, not one at all. Not even a close cut, but to each his own. Some people even on the back side, if they really want to go fancy, they will put rails in here to ride in the miter slots. You can, you don't have to. This is, like I said, this is a quick jig. So that's what I cut. First you cut your wedges, so that way everything is good with your wedges. And then next, you find your piece of plywood, and you don't have to square it up, but what you do, anything you use on this has to be square, or straight, sorry, has to be straight. So I'm gonna take you overhead, and I'm gonna show you how I assembled it. Okay, so now we're overhead. So, first thing you do in all of this is to put this piece in. Couple screws, make sure they don't protrude over your plywood. So a couple screws to make sure she's nice and fastened. And then you take your square. You take a square and you square your inside to inside. Now unfortunately I can't really show you that just because it's all assembled. But you get the gist that this edge and this edge have to be square. Have to be. Otherwise your stringer will look funny and all that fun stuff. So then you figure out how much of a bullnose you're using. So I've already done that. I've marked a line on my bullnose, or how much. So my tread is going to be 9 1/16, and I'm going to have an inch and 7/16 bullnose. Is that right? Yep, that is correct. So then you just place a mark. So this edge right here will go at your edge of your bullnose. So this will be your whole tread, and then you minus your bullnose. So you put that in, and then you take one of your little shims, and you put this in. Now, mind you, take in consideration these two pieces aren't in yet. So you put this piece in. Now, mind you, what I would do is make these two pieces. So cut a nice little miter, so that way they can hit into each other and cover this gap up. Once you have these pieces, and again, make sure these are straight edged. So once you have these made, these are not on right now. All you do, you take your shim and you put it in to where it's gonna be a little bit under where it's gonna meet your riser. So that way when you go to final assemble this and you put your shim in, you'll be able to hit it home and it'll push it out right up. So once you establish this with your wedge in, you put this in. Then you take your riser, whatever your riser is, you put it in, right to it, and you do the same process. So you take your shim, you put it in, you make it so it's a little bit, it's probably about an inch shy of where it's going to hit the tread. And then same thing, you screw this piece in. This is pretty simple. The only piece that's going to be a little bit more involved is going to be when you make the bullnose piece. So you get these two pieces in, this is in, this is in. All you need now is just your bullnose. And that is pretty, it all depends on what bullnose you're using. So for me, I just took my bullnose and a bandsaw and I made the profile. So you can see on here, there's your profile. So now I can duplicate this on every stair tread because the profiles are exactly the same and they're gonna match up pretty good. And if you change your bullnose for whatever reason, you can take this piece out and change it to whatever bullnose you put in. So if it's got a little straighter, if it's got more rounded edges, that's pretty much it. So once you get that in, screwed down, so now you have your jig. All that's left is to cut it out. For me, I'm using this guy, 3/4 inch pattern bit. So it's got a bearing at the top or bottom, whichever way you want to call it. So that way it'll ride this and cut out what I need. So the only other thing you need to mark out is how long. I wouldn't cut it all the way out because then it's going to be two pieces. That's no fun. So I cut it far enough so that it'll do almost any tread that I have. So if I decide to make a tread that's 12 inches, this will make it still. If I make a riser that's 8 inches, this will still make it at the same bullnose. So like I said, if you change your bullnose, you make it bigger, smaller, whatever, you can take this piece out, put a smaller piece in, a bigger piece in, bit different profile, whatever. So I've already made my marks where I'm going to stop cutting it. And all I got to do is just set up my router and cut her out, take this all apart, and you have a jig. So let's get that done. All right. So here, oh, that's a stupid thing. Here is the pattern cut out. Worked pretty good. I didn't want to show you footage of me cutting because that's just, you get enough of that. So all we gotta do now is just take it apart, Take all the screws out. And you have a stair. Simple as that. And there you go. Here is the finished product. Now mind you, you don't have to go all the way out here. My tread's probably gonna end up like being done like right here. But I did this just in case you want to do a bigger tread, or not bigger tread, but a longer tread. It's just, yeah. So, yeah, pretty easy to do. It didn't take me very long. As long as you square it up, you're golden. This, and I made a boatload of these little guys, these little shins. They're all the same size, so there's no variances. And it's good. So I hope you enjoyed this. This is just a simple little jig that I'm gonna be using on my stairs. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up. If you have any comments, stick them down on the bottom, or this way, whatever, whichever way. And subscribe, because thanks for watching, and hope you enjoyed it. I will see you in a couple days with another one. Bye for now.